then a safety mechanism was given. Because people that are troublemakers create trouble actually in the meeting itself. One way they do that is they meet afterwards, right? And they have their own counter meeting afterwards. But another way they do that is that they disrupt the meeting itself by showing up late, making noise, sitting in the back, then making comments. And the Amir is speaking. In this case, the Prophet ﷺ is speaking, and in the back you hear. Just like that. Does that disturb everybody when you hear that? You know, and it's like 3-4 of them, so you don't know which one who did it. So they defend each other. Then they're constantly whispering. And can you hear whispers going on without actually hearing the words? Yeah. Does it distract from the proceedings of the work that's happening, and the meeting that's happening? Sure. So this kind of activity undercuts the work that needs to get done when the Prophet is holding a meeting. So Allah revealed a solution. And his solution was, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, those of you who claim to have iman, idha qila lakum tafassahu fil majalisi, fafsahu. Those of you who have iman, when it's said to you, spread out in the meetings, spread out, don't sit together. Because you understand, the Sahaba had to be told to sit apart. Because they understood that the Prophet is speaking, ﷺ, so who wouldn't want to get the front seat? Right? So everybody's huddled really close to the Prophet ﷺ. So the ayah comes, no folks, spread out in the room. Spread out like a checkerboard, just spread out. Enough space for another person to sit in between you. That sort of thing. Spread out in the masjid. Fil majalis. Fafsahu, then spread out. And he doesn't say fatafassahu, because tafassuh would take a longer time. Fafsahu, do it immediately. Just spread out, come on. Open up the space. Yafsahillahu lakum. May Allah open up the spaces for you. Meaning, it also implies, may Allah open up more lands for you. May Allah give you victory. And you'll have more expanse. You know? So, and what's the wisdom of that? The wisdom of that is latecomers show up. 5 troublemakers show up. They usually sit in the back. They got space in the back to sit together now or no? No. And now the only place they have to sit is in between 2 good people. So the scrawny munafiq is sitting between like Hamza and Umar. Is he going to say, is he going to do that now? No. Because probably Umar radiallahu anhu has got his hand on his neck anyway, just to squeeze it a little. I'm going to, break this twig, make some trouble. Right? He can't make trouble now. He's sitting in between those who are serious. So their effect, their detriment has been nullified by this strategy of the messenger telling people to spread out in the meeting, to gather around, and it doesn't leave room for a subgroup to form, or somebody to sit, just like minds to sit together and undercut. It's genius. It's genius, subhanAllah. So, and then even more, on top of that, bigger wisdom. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَكُمُ انشُزُوا, when it said, rise immediately. Nushuz actually means this. If you missed it, I'll do it again for you. This is nushuz. Nushuz is when a wife goes crazy at home. Like she goes crazy and she's like throwing knives at the husband. And like broken plates and stuff. That's nushuz. وَاللَّاتِي تَخَافُونَ نُشُوزَهُنَّ, your wives have risen against you. She sees your face and she goes crazy. And so run from the house. She's gone psycho. That's nushuz. It ain't normal. Nushuz is not normal behavior. But abruptly getting up. Not so, when a meeting's done, Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Oh, that was a good meeting. So, how's it going? Socializing begins, right? The meeting is done. Now, socializing begins. Allah says, no, when a meeting is held for the sake of Allah, and you're told, get up. Get up. And what does that mean, get up? Get up and get lost. Get out. Leave. Get out of here. Fanshuzu. Leave immediately. Don't socialize. So how's it going, brother? Nope. Meeting is done. Leave. Why? Because if the meeting is done and you hang around and talk, what's inevitably going to happen? A few people will get together and say, hey man, let's go to Afra and get some shawarmas. Let's do some, let's play some ball or something. And when they're in the break and chilling and driving in the car, what are they going to talk about? The contents of the meeting. And it's going to turn into najwa. Don't do it. Socialize at some other time. If you have a meeting, Don't socialize. This is genius. It's preventative measures. إِذَا قِيلَ لَكُمُ انشُزُوا فَانشُزُوا يَرْفَعِ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ. May Allah will raise in that case those who believe among you, وَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمِ, and those that have been given knowledge, دَرَجَاتٍ. Allah will raise them in ranks, meaning raising in ranks usually happens when you do something spiritual. And you will realize, we love each other. We have love for each other, and maybe you don't get to see each other that often, so you see each other at the meeting. But to observe this ethic, it takes discipline. So just leave. Say salam to everybody and leave. And Allah sees that as a sign of iman and raises your rank. Wallahu bima ta'maluna khabir. And Allah has full news, full account of what you're doing. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu idha najaytumur rasula. Then the hypocrites came out with another strategy, really interesting strategy. Some hypocrites, as I told you, had political, social power before Islam came, and they felt like it was completely deflated from them. It was taken away from them. So the way to maintain that is, if they get to be seen publicly as having a private meeting with the Prophet ﷺ, all the companions are going to see that this guy's meeting with the Prophet ﷺ privately must be important. This guy must be a big deal because the Prophet is giving him private time. Right? So this was their way of feeling important or making sure the impression is given that they're important. So the hypocrites would come and say, Ya Rasulullah, I want to speak to you, but privately. It's a personal matter. It's important between the two of us because you're important and I'm important, That sort of thing. So the Prophet ﷺ was, obviously he would oblige. He would give them the time. But Allah revealed a safety mechanism. It was a temporary measure, but it was just there to test the legitimacy and the sincerity of these people. That's what this ayah deals with. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu idha najaytumur rasula. All those of you who have iman, if you want to have a private meeting with the messenger, faqaddimu bayna yaday najwaakum sadaqah. Then right before you have your private meeting, give some sadaqah. Give charity. Like a private meeting tax from Allah for meeting with the Prophet ﷺ. Give charity. ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. That's better for you. وَأَطْهَرٌ, it's purer for you, because the sadaqah will purify your intentions. وَإِن لَمْ تَجِدُوا, and if you can't find it, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ, then certainly Allah is extremely forgiving, always merciful. Usually the hypocrites were wealthy. The hypocrites, the majority of them were wealthy. So they would come, and now one of the things they hate doing is what? Sadaqah. So they don't do it. But they want to meet with the Prophet ﷺ. The only other option is, you couldn't afford it. فَإِن لَمْ تَجِدُوا, if you couldn't afford it, you couldn't find the wealth, then Allah will forgive. So either they'll give the impression that they're cheap, or they'll give the impression that they're poor. And these guys are really big on the impressions they give. Right? So they're like, forget it, I don't want a meeting. Nobody showed up. Nobody, and these are people who could afford it. The only one who actually gave sadaqah and had a meeting privately with the Prophet ﷺ happened to be his son-in-law, Ali radiallahu anhu. So that was the only one who did it. As soon as the opportunity came, I gave sadaqah and had a meeting with the Prophet ﷺ. And we don't know what the meeting was because it was private. That's what you pay for.